How did ancient women handle their periods? No pharmacy down the road, no pads, no tampons, no pain relief. Just a woman, a body doing what bodies do, and 2 million years of figuring it out. You do it, or someone you know does, every single month, like clockwork. It has been happening for as long as humans have existed, and somehow, for almost all of that time, it got handled. Not the way you handle it today, but handled with moss, animal skins, and a few tricks that archaeologists are only just starting to piece together. The real answer is stranger and smarter than you'd expect. Today, managing a period is almost invisible. A product, a routine, maybe a painkiller. Done. For ancient women, the Homo sapiens who lived roughly 200,000 to 10,000 years ago, Homo sapiens, that means us, modern humans, there was no routine. There was only the landscape around them and whatever it offered. We know ancient women were menstruating regularly, probably starting around age 14 to 16, but having far fewer total periods than women today. Here's why. Frequent pregnancy, long breastfeeding, poor nutrition during lean seasons. All of these suppress ovulation, meaning the egg isn't released. A woman in a hunter-gatherer band, a small nomadic group, usually under 50 people. Hunter-gatherer, people who hunted animals and gathered wild plants for all their food, might have had perhaps 30 to 40 periods in her entire life. Compare that to modern women, who average around 450. So the event was less frequent. But when it happened, it still happened. And the Paleolithic world, the Old Stone Age, roughly 2.5 million to 12,000 years ago, offered no privacy, no plumbing, and no stores. Just the earth, the plants, the animals, and each other. That was the toolkit. Sites like those found in southern France, places like Lascaux and the caves of the Dordogne Valley, Lascaux, the famous painted cave, about 17,000 years old, show us that women were living, working, and creating art in these spaces. And in those same spaces, they were managing their cycles every month for thousands of generations with whatever the land gave them. So what exactly did the land give them? The most likely answer starts with moss, specifically sphagnum moss. Sphagnum, Zanduts, the same soft water-absorbing moss used to dress wounds in ancient times, can absorb up to 20 times its own weight in liquid. It grows across northern Europe, across Asia, across the Americas. It is soft, naturally antibacterial, and free. Ancient women likely packed it, folded it into a soft plant leaf, or held it in place with a strip of animal hide. Animal hide? Thin scraped leather from deer or rabbit skin. Soft grasses were another option. Cattail fluff, the soft brown seed heads that burst open in late summer. Cattail, the tall river plant that looks like a brown hot dog on a stick, is incredibly soft and absorbent. Broadleaves worked as a physical barrier, big enough to catch blood, soft enough not to chafe. Animal fur scraps, left over from butchering, were thick, soft, and already part of everyday life. After use, these materials were likely buried, burned, or thrown into moving water. Disposal mattered, not just for hygiene, but because blood had social meaning. Blood in the wild attracts predators. A scent trail means a real threat. Managing flow wasn't just comfort, it was survival. Beyond materials, movement mattered too. Hunter-gatherer women walked miles every day. They didn't stop for their cycle. They couldn't. Food didn't wait. Seasons didn't wait. The group didn't wait. The body had to keep up. In Neolithic communities, the farming era, starting roughly 10,000 years ago, Neolithic, when humans settled down and started growing their own food, more options appeared. Women began weaving plant fibers, flax, hemp, grasses, into rough cloth. Flax and hemp are tough, fast-growing plants that can be beaten into soft fibers. Those fibers could be folded, used, rinsed, and reused. Reusable cloth, the first real menstrual pad. Not soft, not comfortable by modern standards, but functional and washable, which was a genuine leap forward. Across different cultures at roughly this same era, in the Levant, in ancient Egypt's early Neolithic period, in sub-Saharan Africa, evidence of cloth fiber production lines up with permanent settlements. Settle down, weave cloth, manage the month. The technology of everyday life and the technology of menstrual care advanced together. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. Menstruation wasn't just a private inconvenience. In prehistoric and early human societies, it was often treated as a powerful event. powerful in ways that could be awe-inspiring or dangerous. The earliest known ochre use, J. Ochre is a red-brown mineral pigment found at sites like Blombos Cave in South Africa 100,000 years ago. Blombos Cave, one of the oldest known sites of symbolic human behavior, may have been linked to menstrual rituals. Some researchers think the color red held a specific meaning, tied to life, to fertility, and to this monthly event. In many early societies, a woman on her period was separated from the group. Not cruelly, not always. In some groups, it was a retreat, a time when women gathered away from men, shared knowledge, told stories, passed down information. This is called a menstrual hut, and it appears across dozens of ancient cultures worldwide, across sub-Saharan Africa, across indigenous North America, across ancient South Asia, different places, same idea. The blood was seen as both sacred and dangerous, able to help crops grow when offered to the earth in some cultures, able to ruin a hunt in others. Anthropologists, researchers who study human societies, have found evidence of this thinking in oral traditions, in cave symbols, and in the structure of early settlements themselves. There is also a theory, debated but fascinating, that the lunar calendar, the tracking of the moon's cycle, lunar calendar, a way of tracking time by the moon, roughly 29.5 days per cycle, was first developed by women tracking their own cycles. The Lebombo bone, found in Swaziland, about 43,000 years old, is a baboon fibula, the lower leg bone, with 29 deliberate notches cut into it. 29, which is almost exactly the length of a menstrual cycle, and almost exactly the length of a lunar month. The moon, the body, the bone. The same rhythm written into stone. Whether the bone was a period tracker, a lunar counter, or just a tally of something else entirely, nobody knows for certain. But the possibility sits there, quiet and unnerving, that the first human attempt to measure time may have come from a woman paying close attention to her own body. So here is what 2 million years of human history quietly tells you. Every generation of women managed this, with moss, with leaves, with scraps of fur, with knowledge passed between women in small groups, spoken quietly, at night, by firelight. The modern period product, your pad, your tampon, your cup, is the newest version of a very, very old solution. The problem is the same problem women have always had. The body has not changed, only the materials have. And somewhere in that long chain of women finding solutions, in the moss gathering, the cloth washing, the bone notching, is also the story of time itself being measured for the first time. The calendar you check on your phone every morning may have started with a woman alone in a cave, counting. The blood was inconvenient. The ingenuity it demanded was not. Your calendar started with her body.